in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the New York Giants and the Minnesota Vikings. And no return on this one is a fair catch, a signal for and take it.
That's the reason we bought for circle round twice for the encore. You know.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And incomplete to open things up.
That's a nice job there because you got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties. He's able to knock that one away.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now they run the option on 2nd down. That's out to the right, flat and complete. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So if they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 4. There, and it gives him a new set of downs.
You go into these meetings with coach, and sometimes maybe we get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Catch made by Slayton. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 13 yards, good for a Giant first down.
First down, New York.
Good burst there right from the start as he'll get this one out near the 35. They'll get 13 yards for the 2nd play in a row. So back-to-back big runs picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he's brought down. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again.
First and goal, New York.
They'll try to run this one in. And he takes it into the end zone for a Giant TD. A great effort there. With a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Giants take it right down and score on the opening drive. It's up, it's good, and the Giants have a 7-0 lead.
Makes the score Giants 7, Vikings 0. Tucker
McCann's got it teed up. Taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. First and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. The first carry down for Dalvin Cook. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down.
Taken down.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
On the play. Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 20. Five-yard line.
Officially nothing up. Now Garoppolo on the bootleg. They'll roll him out right. Can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. J.J. Watt in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Third down, Dalvin Cook. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. That'll be good for 6, but now it's 4th down. An ideal start defensively. They already have the touchdown. Now they get the stop.
Just like they drew it up on the chalkboard. Does that sound dated? Right? Am I out of touch a little bit?
It's all right.
All right, grease board, heck, computer, exactly what you want, though. Score on your first drive, stop them on the first drive defensively.
A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, down the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge.
There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Giants.
New York.
Darius Slayton, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Giants strike quickly here for 6 points.
There's not much that's perfect in football, but that's about as close to it as you're going to get. Score, force a punt, score again.
And both drives were impressive. The opening drive was, that last one was. Now on the other side, though, what's your psyche? You're really behind the 8 ball.
You got to make sure you just hold in there. Survive the early storm. Relax a little bit and try and get back to your game plan. It's way too early for panic.
And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
At their own 17-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from getting a runner early. But there's that special one there. I say they go get him.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And a heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. They brought the house that time on a young rookie, maybe a little rattled through the pick.
And you have to be prepared for a lot of pressure as a rookie quarterback because most defensive coordinators are going to test you that way. So when you see that, the ball's got to get out of your hands quickly, and that means your receivers have to understand they have to break off their routes quickly as well.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. I mean, that's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
First down.
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme, and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
14. Vikings nothing.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. And to give this time to the tailback. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you. It's in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
They got to get it to the 21 here on 3rd down. Now back to throw. Rolling to his left. He can run for it, and he will. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a 1st down.
Going to be caught at the 10-yard line.
And the Giants are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another 1st down. Shotgun now. Here's an inside give. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
At the 4-yard line.
On 2nd and goal, here's the option.
And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down. Back to throw. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. From 8 yards out. And the Giants are able to grow their lead. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
Made it to the 25-yard line. The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
That's the reason we ball for. Circle round twice for the encore. You know.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
From the 27, Garoppolo. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
41-yard line.
They run the counter with Cook. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. And we've hit the 2. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're... And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to.
On that play, it came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Open man, it's Thielen, it's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Give them 22 there on the 3rd down conversion. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. 7 yards to pick up there.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
On 2nd down, Cook. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Xavier McKinney.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And that will be incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1. Garoppolo, quarterback sneak. And he'll burrow his way forward to pick up the first. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half.
Sometimes you need a phone, one to keep your eyes open, keep you on your toes. You know the ones that want to keep you where you've been before. But I can't go, no, I can't go.
Now this time he'll look to throw. Going to throw deep for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. These guys have battled back in the closing stages of the first half.
They'll take over first and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
And they'll run the option to start the drive.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the final two quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them.
21.
Garoppolo to try again on second down. And a heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's J.J. Watt, and his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. The first half did not go their way, and that's not going to help matters at all. An interception here on the opening drive of the third quarter.
Obviously not what they were striving to accomplish. But you know who's really upset on their team? The defense. Already trailing, they're going to be counted on to try and hold that score at least where it is.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it. And it took the ball to the course. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And yet again, he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by this Vikings defense.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13. New York. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. There's a quick throw caught out wide. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown.
All break
Darius Slayton, his second touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Giants use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6.
Makes the score Giants.
Rosas good with the extra point, and that makes the score 28-0. And this carries into the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
Their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up first and 10. And now they can't even get a play off. So that'll back them up 5. So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. First and 15 following the delay of game. Looking to throw. Garoppolo. That went into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he goes down, but now before getting us inside the 25. Another big play as they get 28 out of that one.
First and 10 at the 24-yard line.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. First and 10. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. Escaping the pressure right. This will be caught inside the 10. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
First and goal at the 8-yard line.
So 3 plays already first and goal, and they are wasting little time. They'll run with Cook. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. Sometimes a group that gets overlooked, certainly, the offensive line. Right there, they really helped with that score.
Didn't they tell us in our meeting that when we score touchdowns running the ball, that means the offensive line actually scored first by moving people back beyond the end zone? We saw evidence of that on that play.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
First and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin first and 10. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
A 4-receiver look here. 3 out to the left, 1 to the right on 2nd and 8. Down to the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off around the 27, and they will take over at the 26-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
So after the INT, it's Garoppolo. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down.
I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing.
And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been any. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
Throwing is Garoppolo on third down. The Giants defense that time in pass coverage. Fourth down.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
And his kick is good. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. So a good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point, or in this case, a field goal.
And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
That's complete to Slayton. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
2nd and 12 at the 38-yard line.
Behind the chain, 2nd and 12.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Going right side here, and that's complete. He takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for them.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. From left side, taken in by Slayton. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down fourth quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. Right?
That is caught. He's got it for a giant touchdown. From 3 yards out, and the Giants add on to their lead.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury. And it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run. And he finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
PAT up and good by Rosas. And they open the lead up now to 25.
Fair catch made at the 25-yard line. The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
They'll be going for 6. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. Second down.
Back at the 22-yard line.
A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. He's going to get his man out of the backfield. Complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. Give him 22 yards, and that's also where they snapped it from, the 22. Delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Working from the gun, Garoppolo. And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. J.J. Watt has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. On second and a long way to go. Garoppolo. His throw is going to be incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. But now it's 3rd down. Now the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to wear it on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. It's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. And the return will stop right around the 25. Certainly not what
he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ball game.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot of interceptions early, learned from them, became great later?
Who would that be?
That'd be one Peyton Manning. Threw 28 his rookie year. That's the NFL record. How things turn out for him?
I think okay. He's a guy in all the commercials now, right?
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
At the 19-yard line.
They'll try to run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays. But I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. It's almost a tendency breaker.
So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now it's the backup Newton. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line.
10 yards.
They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
5-yard line.
He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down. Newton's going to throw it. And he's got it. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line.
Number 80.
9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal. They probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in, and they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. As that lead just swells and swells. Look, this has been dominance in all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams.
So don't we have to give a lot of credit, not just to what we've seen today, but the preparation in advance, coaching staff, commitment by the players to the game plan, and being ready to go in this one? You're exactly right. Clean sweep. And, boy, they're going to celebrate this one after it's over.
And on the other side, this is the game film you just flush and never go back and review.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in a game like this.
And somewhat of a measure of advantage as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it. But I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They'd done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Fielded a couple yards into the end zone.
The Giants take over 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
And they take a knee.
To Today's final score, Giants 42.
Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
As an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Giants, the win means nothing less. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they wanted desperately to finish at 500, but that won't happen. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.